Another update about Amaka Canada, the Igbo lady that spoke in that viral video that concerned Yoruba and Edo people. Now, the first video I made was where she explained what happened, how it happened, and what made her to say what he said. And of course, clarifying that she was actually invited, not arrested, according to the people who were saying that. But as it stands now, hey, matter don't change. We are now hearing an alleged news that the lawyers of Amaka have sued Abike Dabiri, that is the chairman of Nigerians in diaspora. She has sued her of $500,000 because of selective judgment and all that. But in fact, you are not going to hear it from my mouth. There is this interview by Daddy Freeze about somebody who was present at the court during the time the case was going on in Canada there. He is going to explain how everything happened and how it's going on. But listen to them and make sure you are sharing your thoughts on the comment section. Let's go there.
On Monday, she was supposed to come in person into court, but it was a public holiday, so the court session was held, but she had to join via Zoom. So one of the people that attended couldn't stay all day. They didn't know when she was going to be called for trial. So in the end, people were told to go home if they want to go and join via Zoom. So the following day, which we also expected, she eventually appeared, and she was represented by lawyers, not just one lawyer, two lawyers to represent her, because of the gravity of the case, and it was the safest thing to do for her as well. So in the end, she was granted bail. She was allowed to go back home. But there's going to be another session for her sometime next month. I have not confirmed the date, but she's going to reappear in court for the continuation of the trial. So this is the amazing thing, and I have to say, we should all learn from what happened to Amaka. Things can easily go viral, even when you mean it or when you don't mean it. So in the end, she was able to defend herself about the comments, why she made it, and she also apologized that she didn't really mean what she said, which was the safest thing to do as well. But it was very funny because the court had to give her the bail or grant her the bail because she also, her lawyers brought so many instances and evidences where people have made similar. They were never invited, they were never arrested. It was just taken lightly. So our case was, why was she singled out for the same thing when people have made maybe even worse threats on social media? Unfortunately for her, her own case was taken out and it trended. I mean, nowadays in the social media world, if you mistakenly trend for the wrong things, you will most likely get the unwanted attention, which is what happened to her. But she was able to bring instances from as far as Austria and some other European countries where people made, so it was accepted in court. And the funny thing, I mean, the first thing, or maybe the thing that most of us didn't expect, one of our lawyers actually, and I'm sure this is not even in any social media space or media space at the moment, one of our lawyers actually sued Abike Dabiri, who is the chairman of the
diaspora people's yes, Abike.
Yes, the diaspora body. So she's the head, and one of the lawyers sued her for $500,000. And you'll be wondering, why was Abike Dabiri sued? Which is the question that I asked. Why did you sue Abike Dabiri? So the case, of course, when it comes to court, forget the emotions, forget the hearsay. You need to present the facts. You need to present the evidence. You should be able to prove whatever you are bringing to the table. So the lawyer argued that Abike Dabiri singled out Amaka when other people have made similar comments outside of Nigeria. Because people will say, well, people make so many threats every day in Nigeria, it all goes away, nobody follows up. In truth, Abike Dabiri is not responsible for what happens inside Nigeria. She's responsible for what happens outside of Nigeria. So, just a second, 1 second.
We're just hearing this update for the first time. Sue Abike. But law can take a very funny turn. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry about that. So Abike Dabiri was one of the lawyers. He had two lawyers. So one of the lawyers sued Abike for singling out her when others have done similar things. So the funny thing is, the courts or the Canadian government, according to the polls that I have also decided to write particularly the Austrian government, because one of the evidences she put out was that people do the same thing, and she was simply playing amongst her friends who also make similar comments. She was caught in the heat of the moment and simply made it, and she didn't mean it. and she also apologized for making unguarded comments on social media. So, of course, the Canadian government, with the investigation going on, they've already waited the Austrian government to follow up on the other people who made similar comments in that country, if it is true or not, and what the Austrian government did about it. So, I think it's still developing. She still has another day in court. But in the end, with my own understanding, and with the arguments that she presented, she may just have avoided a jail time. Because in Canada, according to the law, when you issue a threat, you may go, you may be sentenced to 2 to 5 years in prison. The minimum you get is 2, and the maximum you get is 5. But you have to be found guilty of actually making
the buy.
Sorry about that.
Buy threat.
So if you make a threat to buy anybody, then you can actually get within. Well, in Ontario, by the way, because Canada has different laws in different provinces.
Yes.
But in Ontario, it could be up to 2 to 5 years. So that's the latest from my findings. Having gone to the court and also followed the story. So it's going to
Where was the court located? What part of Canada is the court located?
So the court is the Ontario Court of Justice at Finch Avenue West in North York, Ontario.
Okay, so you actually went to the court yourself, and
yes, I was in the court on Monday, and I was there on Monday. I was even surprised because I've been to the court only once. So for this particular one, because of the interest that it generated. Hold on 1 second, sorry. Yeah, that's Chris.
Yes, I can hear you.
My kid just came back from school, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's yummy. So I was there. Yeah, I've only been to the court once. So when I went there the second time, I was surprised with the number of people. In fact, let me say Nigerians that came to the court because of the interest that it garnered all over social media. So they were there to see the lady in question, hear her, and there were also mixed reactions, mixed comments, mixed opinions about what she did. Many actually believed that she didn't mean what she said. And to be fair with you, and to be very sincere with you, that I don't think she meant what she was saying on social media. But in Yoruba, they used to say something, I don't know how to translate it. You can't just, can't see anything you like on social media because it's others are saying it, or you just want to have an effect. Because according to what I heard from the TikTok live, they just took out that part. They took out that part and they made it trend. There was a conversation ongoing before that, and she was caught between saying things that could also ginger his own fellow or also get back at people saying something similar. And of course, it was taken out of context. Even though it's hard to say it was taken out of context because it was clear what she said about, paying people of Yoruba and Benin descent in Nigeria, at workplace, and stuff. So yeah, it's basically what it is at the moment. So on the day so many people came, the interest was huge. In fact, they were surprised at the call, like, okay, what's happening here? Today's a public holiday. Why is everybody coming? So everybody got to know that it was actually her case. But in courts, they can't, even though they gave the time as 10 up, the issue with courts, police, and hospital. That prayer, you always say amen, no? Different people with different wala of life, different crime. At times the crown will say, okay, this one, you're going to be remanded. This one, you are released. Different issues. It was just, in my mind, I'm like, man, I know the funny thing, someone even joining. I mean, for our own case, she also joined from the cell because she couldn't come in person. So I'm sure that there's a last screen in the solitary cell. You join, you speak. If you don't want to speak, your lawyer speaks, and the crown makes a decision or his decision on what to do next. But in our own case, she was granted bail, and the case will still continue in court next month.
Okay, I sent you a picture. Is that her being held by police? I sent it to you. Oops, I sent it to my Suya guy. Sorry. Bolarinwa. Okay, I'm forwarding the picture to you. Let me delete it from. Is this her?
No, this is not her. This is fake.
Oh, okay. That is not her.
No, this is not her.
Oh.
Nowadays, you don't believe everything you see on social media. It doesn't even look real. This is obvious. Social media is funny. Even the picture that showed is the one you should investigate more these days. With AI, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Oh.
AI is make believe. You are actually going to believe it at first sight, and it's a fake picture. This one is not even hard to detect. But there are some that you are almost convinced it is the person in the picture, and it's not. So this is fake. This is fake, 100%.
Truly appreciate. Thank you very much. And please keep us posted. Me and you go to talk for the background. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bolarinwa Olajide reporting all the way from Canada, keeping us updated with what's going on. Now, what do you think Abike Dabiri's reaction would be before you go to the court case?
You mean the counter suit?
Yes, yes.
It's not even the counter suit. It's actually a suit because Abike never sued. She just called for arrest and investigation from the Canadian police.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you see, when it comes to anything legal, law, court, I don't think even Abike Dabiri will be found guilty because at the end of the day, she can simply say
she was doing her job.
And it was not brought to me. I mean, the other cases that they claimed in other parts of the world where people made threats, she will simply say, well, based on my own knowledge and some of the, my lawyer friends, she was simply say, I wasn't aware. If I was aware, I would have followed through as well. But this one, I was aware. They gave me the details. They gave me the facts. And I followed up with, I wrote a letter to the mayor of Brampton. I wrote a letter to the Canadian police. And there was also a letter that came from the House of Rep about the same issue. So, but, lawyers would always do their job. The prosecutor, the defendant, they will always find a way. So I think it was just, the lawyer was like, okay, Abike Dabiri, you say you're doing your job, but you're not doing your job on all quarters. It's a witch hunt. You singled out Amaka for this treatment, which is not fair, and we're going to sue you for, what's the term now? Is it defamation? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they just want to sue her too for, and to be very fair, Abike got it too, and she was very sweet in acting, I don't know why, but she just swung into action, wrote the letters, and it was taken up. But when it comes to country matters, countries always take it serious. If a country writes another country, they don't take it with levity. They take it very seriously. So when the letter came from the Nigerian government, the Canadian government acted. And like I said, in the same spirit, the Canadian government have also written to the Austrian government, according to reports, about some of the claims that Amaka made in her own testimony on the issue. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Abike will get her own lawyers to prove the case. And if you can't prove it that she didn't do the same to other people that said it in other countries, then she also goes free. But court matters is never ending.
Yeah, nobody can tell the way the pendulum of the court will swing.
Unless it is overwhelming, unless it is clear as day, that's when the court will now make a decision and the case is put to bed.
Thank you. I would love to hear from Abike Dabiri right now. My lovely sister, please would like to hear from you. If you can come to my live, it will be nice. If not, if you can send a letter, I'll read it out. I just want to know what the update is. Now, Bolarinwa, knowing the way Canada works, and you've been in Canada for a minute, do you think that this case, whether she gets convicted or not, could affect her marketability when it comes to future prospects for getting jobs?
Well, it depends. We can't really tell until a decision is made by the courts. It's very straightforward. If the court finds her guilty, then it's going to affect her in all ramifications. If she's guilty, there's a good chance that she'll spend jail time, and it won't be so good for her going forward. That's if she's found guilty. But if she's not found guilty, then in the eyes of the law, she has not done anything wrong. But within colleagues or friends, they may have a different opinion about her. This is now one-on-one. In the eyes of the law, she's free. So it's easy to predict that. But for now, according to the law of the country, she has been granted bail and the case is still being heard. So when we get to the end of it, then we can project what could happen to her when it comes to her present job or future job or what she wants to do in the future. Conviction is a different thing entirely. At the moment, we can't tell until we get to that point.
Okay. Now, what if she has she hasn't gotten her citizenship? Can this prevent her from getting her permanent residency or her citizenship, as the case may be?
If she's convicted, yes, it can affect a lot of things, not just citizenship. If she's convicted, or anybody is convicted for any crime, it will affect a whole lot of things in your life. So conviction is never a good thing unless you receive a pardon. But people get their permanent residency revoked. Even citizenship can also be revoked. It's possible. But the height of if you're a citizen and you get convicted of a crime, the chances of revocation is actually low, but you most likely spend the jail time in your country of citizenship. So that's how it works.
You get the point now, but nevertheless, as it stands now, What do you think about this lawsuit? But for me, I think this is going to end up exposing so many things, because according to the voice note or the video we saw on the previous video, there are other videos that is even worse than the one she made, which nobody talked about that one. Now her own, everybody is now talking about it. But nevertheless, share your thought with me on the comment section. And you know the vibe now. Click on that subscribe button, follow, and share for more updates. Because like this, hey, we will